Ladies and gentlemen, the most anticipated event of the year so far is here. The Season 4 BGFL Draft is upon us, and to start it out, we already have a pre-draft trade right here. Brad Ocho Cuatro, I'm just wondering what your thoughts are here. The Women Lovers trading their picks 9 and 16 with Simon, the Predators, to move to 11 and 14. What do you think about that trade?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what I think about it. I know Simon, captain of the Predators, has been catching a lot of heat for it. Some saying he is reached, as one would say. And so I'm just seeing what Daniel's plan is to move back and up in the third round.
I actually talked to Daniel before this, and I think what he was thinking about when doing this move was that he did not want to be stuck with that 16th pick. He did not want to be stuck. He wanted to have some choice with his final pick. All right, so moving up to 14, I think he loses that 9 pick, which is nice, but he moves back 11. He's hoping that he could maybe get like a Callahan, Meckelkey back there, hoping that, you know, a star player like White Chocolate will fall that far and he'll get a good player, with his third pick. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I actually see the commissioner, Luke Zocker, coming up right now, and it looks like he's actually ready. He's ready right here. We're in matching outfits, actually, just part of that incredible analyst commissioner chemistry that the BGFL is known for. So we're going to see what the Women Lovers are going to do with their first pick. With the first overall pick in the 2022 BGFL Draft, the Watchtown Women Lovers select Luke Zocker, wide receiver, Monsters University. Okay, so the Women Lovers, number 1 overall go Luke Zocker. Is there any surprise here for you, Brad?
Yeah, I think either Carter Larson or Michael Webster would have been a better pick here. I think Daniel reached, and I think he definitely could have traded back to still get Luke a few picks later.
But the word here is that Johnny Nemeth, being the absolute gremlin that he is, he may have actually tried to snag Luke Zocker with the first overall pick just to piss Daniel off. What do you think about that potentially happening?
From what I've heard, Johnny was worried about the same thing happening, but with a different player.
Wow, this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. So you think the Women Lovers reached here?
Yes,
absolutely. But you do realize that Luke has been one of the best players in the BGFL for years now, and he's been a Women Lover his entire career. So I think this makes sense. Let's remember here that the 1 year that Luke and Daniel played together on the Women Lovers, they won the championship.
Hey, they didn't get much. That was a fluke win. They didn't get many wins in the regular season. They somehow managed to squeak out a Mickey Mouse trophy later.
But your guy Carter Larson, let me check here. Has he won a single playoff game? The brother is the most overrated player in the BGFL.
Hey, some may call him the Trayvon Diggs of the BGFL, just getting interceptions, but that brother can cover anyone on the field.
Well, we'll see here. Carter Larson, maybe Johnny will make the mistake, and he'll pick him 2nd overall, but we'll see here with the commissioners coming right up. With the 2nd overall pick in the 2022 BGFL Draft, the Paradise City Pro Crafters select Carter Larson, wide receiver, Monsters University.
Steal of the draft. Carter here at number 2 overall. Chang, what do you think of this?
I think it's an absolute mistake. I think it's an absolute travesty, to be honest. I mean, Carter Larson, Johnny might as well say he wants to have a good record in the regular season. He wants to do absolutely nothing in the playoffs. I mean, these two have been together for 2 years. We haven't seen them do anything except stat pad and do good in the regular season, like I said. But, I mean, playoff time comes, what's going to happen? I think the same thing, first round exit. I don't like this pick. I don't like this pick for Johnny. I think this is his inexperience showing up as a GM. He's never really been in this leadership role. Hopefully it pays off, I don't want to prey on anyone's downfall, but I don't know about this one.
There's no doubt in the people's minds that Carter and Johnny have been the most dynamic duo in the BGFL since they've started playing together in Season 2.
I have to admit the connection is pretty good here. Johnny, I don't think Johnny would be a very good player without Larson over there. I mean, he just basically just lobs the ball up and he prays, and usually Larson comes down with it. So, I mean, just they have some chemistry there, I have to admit, but I don't think it's going to take them anywhere. With the 3rd overall pick in the 2022 BGFL Draft, the Wilmington Predators select Michael Webster, wide receiver, Blue Mountain State.
All right, and there we have it. Michael Webster, number 3 overall. Chang, what do you think of this?
I think this is Simon's inexperience as a GM showing here. I think he fell for the hype train. I mean, Michael Webster, you look at the stats, the man has never even touched a BGFL field before, and you're taking him 3rd overall. I think, just to play devil's advocate here, I think what Simon was thinking is he sees the raw athleticism and he sees the potential here. and he decides to pick Webster over the more established BGFL prospects like Logan Landowski, John Engelkes, guys who've been in the league for years. I don't know if I really like this pick. I think Simon and Webster, they might end up having some chemistry issues too. Seeing the amount of times that Simon and Webster make fun of each other's moms, I think it could be very devastating for team morale. So now we have Jared Engelkes up next with the 4 and 5 picks. This is a great spot for Jared. He's going to be able to snag him 2 solid players. Jared already a decent wide receiver prospect. Some say a bit inconsistent, but he's returning with the Snow Dragons. Let's see who he picks. With the 4th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL Draft, the Alaska Snow Dragons select Logan Landowski, quarterback, Bishop Sycamore. Okay, so not much of a surprise here. Jared has 2 picks in a row, so it makes sense that he's going to want to take at least one quarterback. And most people say that the best quarterback in the draft here is Logan Landowski, the big arm out of Bishop Sycamore. I like this pick for Jared because you don't want Jared playing quarterback, all right? Honestly, I don't think we've seen him throw one pass, and it was a pick 6 to Dylan Cummings, notoriously one of the worst quarterbacks in the entire league.
I would like to point out, Jared did once activate white Lamar Jackson mode and run for 2 touchdowns in a game.
So are you saying here that he should not have picked Lando, that he should be quarterback instead?
I do think that. I think he should have gone wide receiver heavy with these first 2 picks.
Lando can play wide receiver. We have to remember that. But what do you think about Lando as a quarterback?
He's definitely the most dynamic quarterback in the BGFL, even though he has gone through his fair share of slumps where he's gone interception crazy over a few game span.
Hey, I can't argue with that. All right, let's see what Jared takes with the 5th overall pick. With the 5th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL Draft, the Alaska Snow Dragons select John Engelkes, wide receiver, University of Tijuana. And Jared here going for his twin brother, John Engelkes, out of the University of Tijuana. John, this will be his 2nd season not being a captain, and he's going to be going to the Snow Dragons. This is very interesting. We've never seen these 2 brothers play together before.
I think John's nothing but speed. He runs slants, fast, and can run a streak route. He got nothing on his route tree. He got no ability to go up for contested catches.
We're talking about the 2-time offensive player of the year here. He's taking on 2 routes. He can run those 2 routes pretty good, can he?
He can run those 2 routes pretty good. But I'd like to think his first offensive player of the year is just because Carter Larson was opening up, taking all the coverage to the other side of the field.
Interesting take there. I like this pick. For Jared. You could make the argument that he missed out on Ben Hennen and Sharpie. Those 2 would have been good as well. I think that right here he just had a wide variety of great options, and he just took the one that made the most sense. It's his brother, for crying out loud.
I can't argue with that. But I think both Ben and Sharpie are more dynamic BGFL players than John.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see next season. These guys might get taken next. We'll see right here. We have the Predators up next, and we'll see who Simon takes with his 6th pick. With the 6th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL Draft, the Wilmington Predators select Ben Hennen, wide receiver, Southampton Institute of Technology.
All right, and pick 6 is in. Ben Hennen to the Wilmington Predators. What do you think of this?
Well, Ben Hennen from the Southampton Institute of Technology, or SHIT for short. He's tall, and there's not much you can do about that in the BGFL. The only problems I see here is Simon is his potential quarterback. Simon, he has a tendency to lob his throws, so maybe this could actually be a great thing for them. Ben had an explosive season, but he does have some defensive issues. He's not very agile, so I think that this overall, though, is a great pick and great value for Simon here.
We've always seen Ben as more of a deep threat, going up and get those 50-50 balls. And from what we've seen of Simon, he often has maybe the worst deep ball accuracy in the BGFL. I think this we could see depending on how Simon's worked this offseason and fix up his deep ball accuracy, this could be a big or a really small season for Ben.
I heard that Simon over the offseason has been going hard in the paint. He's been playing League of Legends, staying up till 8 a.m., getting up at 5 p.m. He's got his sleep schedule back on track, and he is ready. He is ready to devastate on the field next season.
Yeah, the only thing holding back the Predators is Simon picking up his phone now. I really can't think of anything else that could stop them from winning a game.
At least one. All right. Now we've got the Pro Crafters up next. Johnny Nemeth. He's interesting here. We still have Carter Sharp on the board. Could we potentially see a Hot Moms reunification?
I mean, they were terrific that regular season. We didn't see much from them that playoffs, but that was one of the most dynamic trios we've seen in the BGFL. They had, I think it was 13 picks over a 3-game span. We've never seen anything like that before.
Never seen anything like it. This could be big, folks. Let's see what the commissioner has. With the 7th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL draft, the Paradise City Pro Crafters select Carter Sharp, and Johnny does it. He reunites the Hollywood Hot Moms of Season 2, taking former captain Carter Sharp from the South Central Louisiana State University. This, I think, is a fantastic pick. All right, Sharpie, Slant Boy, Michael Thomas, he's going to be a great second option. He's going to be a great, once again, little dump-off option for Johnny.
Yeah, and we already know if Johnny's going through any slumps, Sharpie can definitely come in and play quarterback. He's mobile in the pocket, can make every throw on the field, and he's a lockdown corner as well. He can shadow any receiver out there.
Season 1 Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, this is looking like a mighty talented squad here.
2 Defensive Player of the Years on the Pro Crafters.
Oh my goodness. And only one of them is a Mickey Mouse Defensive Player of the Year, which is pretty rare in the BGFL. All right, so now up next we have the Women Lovers with the 8th pick, and I'm seeing a guy on the board still, Zach PEKULA. Could we have 2 Season 2 teams reunited? Zach returning to the Women Lovers. Zach he's going to be playing in the championship next, coming up soon, the Season 3 championship. He could have 2 rings. And then Daniel could also have 2 rings by the time Season 4 starts here. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping it from happening. That Women Lovers team did win a championship. I think the only thing that could really happen to this team is Zach PEKULA is a bit of a diva, so that could tear this team apart if he's not maintaining the locker room how it should be.
Yeah, we have seen that, but we'll just have to hope for the best, and we're going to have to see what the commissioner is saying up here. With the 8th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL draft, the Watertown Women Lovers select Zach PEKULA, wide receiver, South Park, Illinois. And the Women Lovers pick Zach PEKULA, reuniting the old squad, the old championship squad. What do you have to think about this?
I mean, do I think they'll run it back? No, not at all. There's this team.
No, why wouldn't they not run it back?
They got that Mickey Mouse ring. There was
Mickey Mouse ring. It's still a ring, is it not? I mean, check the fingers. You got those 2 rings right there. Those 2 fake rings. Those ain't BGFL rings. Those ain't real. Those are fake. All right. You check Luke Zucker's hand. Check Zach PEKULA's. Okay, they got those rings. All right. And that's something that someone like Carter Larson can't say, or will never be able to say. All right. So I think this is a great pick. I think that Zach, I don't know how he's going to react returning to the Women Lovers. There was a little bit of struggle with that team early on in the season, with in terms of chemistry. PEKULA, he's going to want at least 20 targets a game, or he's going to bitch like crazy. So we're just going to have to hope that they'll be able to contain and get together. And
I think they'll definitely take a real good locker room guy with one of these last 2 picks.
And then,
kind of glue that team together.
Yeah, I'm see some great glue guys here, but I'm looking at Dylan Cummings. Could he return to the Women Lovers?
He did want to team up with PEKULA, but I just don't see it happening. I don't think he falls that far.
Yeah, you have to fall to 14 for that to happen. But let's not worry about 14 here. We got pick 9 coming up. The commissioner's coming up right now. The Wilmington Predators will be taking their 3rd player. With the 9th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL draft, the Wilmington Predators select Marcus Congdon, wide receiver, New Mexico State Penitentiary.
Wow, and Marcus goes to the Wilmington Predators. Marcus is a very dynamic receiver when he's on the field, but he is rarely available to be on the field. One of the most injury-prone players out there.
And I think this is the 2nd botched pick for Simon. I think he reached heavy for Marcus here. Marcus had a good season. He's a good maybe 2nd or 3rd receiver, and he can get some interceptions, but he's just too inconsistent. And we're not just talking about injury here. He has dropping problems. There's some games where he's just non-existent. There's some games where he can get multiple touchdowns. But I see former Mickey Mouse MVP Brandon DeLarosa on the board. I see Callahan, McElkey, White Chocolate on the board. And you're going to take Marcus over him? I just don't understand the pick here. I don't see what Marcus does better than White Chocolate.
I think, yeah, exactly. There's plenty of veterans who are still available on the board who would be able to be put into this offense much easier for it to function well. I just don't think Marcus brings much to the table here.
Yeah. I think we're both in agreement here that we don't agree with these picks. But now we got the Pro Crafters coming up. Johnny, he's going to have a wealth of talent to pick here in this third round. Let's see if he can get a steal here. With the 10th overall pick in the 2022 Bgfl draft, the Paradise City Pro Crafters select Callahan McElkey, long snapper, Southwest East North Dakota State University Tech Community College School of Business, Fargo.
Wow, and Johnny selects White Chocolate, Callahan McElkey. I really did not see Cal slipping over the third round. I had him as my first round projection.
I thought the women lovers were going to take him over Luke Shack, honestly. I can't front. I was playing a little bit of a character there, but yeah, I thought Cal was going first over. The best long snapper we've ever seen out of Southwestern East North Dakota State Tech Community College University of Business, Fargo. One of the most respected football programs in the nation, and he was the best long snapper they've ever had.
Yeah, and not only did he play as long snapper, but he can play any position on the field. Linebacker, center, guard, tackle. He can block anyone out there. That's a corn-fed farm boy.
What? He made that up. He made that. It was so devastating they had to ban him.
Yes. One of the only players to make a move so good that the league has to ban it.
I actually think, hot take, I think the league will be banning the Cal spin this season 4. We've seen guys like Larson try to steal from Cal. Nobody can do it quite like Cal. All right, we've seen John, we've seen Luke do it a few times. The Cal spin, listen, I don't think it's going to be around for long. It's like the equivalent of using steroids.
Well, we do encourage those.
We do encourage, yes. But the Cal spin, that's just a little bit too much here. But yeah, Cal, I mean, he really fell here. And I think this is an absolute snipe from Johnny here. Cal in the third round? Who saw this coming?
Yeah, and he's the wide receiver 3 on this offense. Maybe the best wide receiver 3 we've ever seen.
Cal, according to him, is a wide receiver 1 caliber player who's always open.
I think not just according to Cal, according to everyone. I think
and if Cal says it's got to be true. So the son is a freaking star, man. Whew. All right.
All right, the next pick is in. Let's see what it is.
The women lovers up. With the 11th overall pick in the 2022 Bgfl draft, the Wattow women lovers select Brandon De La Rosa, wide receiver, Sartell Drivers. And Brandon De La Rosa, for the third time in his career, will be returning to the Wattow women lovers. Brandon, Mickey Mouse MVP Season 2, playing 5 games. He was a very dangerous receiver. What do you think about his Season 3 performance with the women lovers, who had a bit of a down year?
I think that performance was a disgraceful season. I really think that if you're coming off an MVP season, you should at least get double-digit touchdowns. And I think he had double-digit drops, but that was about it.
Yeah, there's not a lot to be said about Brandon's on and off Season 3. He had some interceptions, some cool catches, and he didn't always show up in the big moments. I think that the problem with Brandon is his motor is a little bit inconsistent. I don't know. The BGFL, you can't focus on anything else. You can't focus on women, a job, school. You can only focus on the BGFL 24/7. That's all that's got to be on your mind if you want to be one of the greatest in this league. And I don't know if Brandon is like that. I think that, but
it's a lot of Rainbow Six Siege in the way here.
Yeah, that's true. He's got a lot of online friends that he likes to hang out more with than his actual like in-person friends. And I just think, but if he can get his attitude right, if he can get invested in the game, which he sometimes actually does, what do you think? Do you think he could be a steal here at 11? He's the former MVP.
Well, I think he only won MVP that season because there's a lot of other big targets on his team who are stealing a lot of the coverage.
Like Jared.
Yes, like Jared.
When I think of elite receivers, I think of Jared. That man double covered every play.
But I think Brandon is a bottom 3 defensive player in this league.
Bottom three.
I think he let Carter Larson get 7 touchdowns in a game last year. the most in a single BGFL game in history. I think we're going to be seeing that a lot more this year too.
Yeah, well, I mean, the stats are there, and that was a pretty atrocious performance. But third round, I think this is good value here. So now we have the 12th pick. All right, this will be the final pick of the third round, and we have the Snow Dragons with another set of back-to-back picks. He's got Jared, Logan, and John. That's going to be the Snow Dragons so far. They're going to try to get 2 other solid players. What do you think they're going to pick here? We still got Dylan Cummings on the board. We still got George Larson. What do you think?
I mean, if they're going for the potential side of things, I can see them taking George Larson. But if they're going if they need that good locker room guy who can really motivate a team with a high motor, sneaky athletic, a gritty player, they want Dylan Cummings.
They want Dylan Cummings. Let's see. Snow Dragons up. With the 12th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL Draft, the Alaska Snow Dragons select Josh Kern, wide receiver, Hustlers University.
Wow, did not see this one coming. Josh Kern. What do you think of this, Chang?
Josh was a substitute the last season, and he's shown a little bit of versatility. He's okay at quarterback. He can play quarterback, but I don't think that's what Jared's drafting him for. So this pick, I'm assuming he's going to take Dylan with the next pick. If he doesn't end up taking Dylan and he ends up taking like Will McGarry or Michael FOSSEN, I really don't understand the thought process here. I just think Josh, he hasn't proved himself as much as a guy like Dylan Cummings, who the Pop-Tart game. We can't forget about the Pop-Tart game. One of the most legendary performances in BGFL history. Dylan went to war. He went to war that game on nothing but a Pop-Tart in his stomach. And he's just, like you said, a gritty player. And he's there to help the team out. He's there to block and do the stuff that no one wants to do, the stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheet.
I've seen he's a great locker room guy, don't get me wrong. But
I can't think
he is not willing to play quarterback for his team. And that boy is a hell of a quarterback.
That boy can't sling the rock. But yeah, I think he's more of a wide receiver there. But you see, Jared took Lando. So I think he could take Dylan here and he could be a wide receiver. But we'll see. He's got another pick coming up.
Dylan and Josh, that's not the best speed in your wide receiver core right there.
But Josh, I think will be solid. I think he'll be, if he's in single coverage versus someone's bottom tier quarterback, he's gonna get open. He's gonna get some catches.
That is true.
He's also a big body, good blocker. We'll see. But Jared has another pick coming up right here. I see the commissioner. He's coming up to announce the pick right now. Let's see. With the 13th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL Draft, the Alaska Snow Dragons select Dylan Cummings, quarterback, Reese's University. And here we go, straight out of Reese's University, Dylan Cummings taken with the 13th pick like we anticipated. Brad, what do you think about this?
I mean, potential is unlimited for this team now. They got some high quality veterans and young guys coming into play. I think if Lando can hit his groove at quarterback this year, we could see our first ever quarterback MVP in the BGFL.
That could happen. I mean, with this pick, don't you just want to put your arms in the air and just celebrate?
I do.
Put your arms in the air and just celebrate. I mean, as a Snow Dragons fan yourself, I know you're a fan of the Snow Dragons. I think you've got to select the way the board broke for them, and I think this is a fine job by Jared drafting.
I do. I think he went and got the best player available at almost every pick. There's a few that were questionable, but I think it's a really talented squad who's going to win a lot of games this year.
All right, now 14, we got the Women Lovers. This was originally the Predators' pick, but the Women Lovers decided to trade up, and now they've got the choice between George, Will McGarry, and Michael FOSSEN. Who do you think they pick out of these three?
I think right now Michael FOSSEN's the best. We got to see how he comes back from that gruesome foot injury, but George definitely has the highest potential out of this group here. He got good speed, not the most coordinated guy in here, but none of the last three are. So we'll see how this plays out.
So you think they're going to go Michael FOSSEN?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, we'll see. The pick is in. With the 14th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL Draft, the Watab Women Lovers select George Larson, wide receiver, homeschooled.
Wow, and it is George Larson. You know, this guy, he's going to be in his older brother's shadow a lot this season. I'd see him maybe getting 10 touchdowns if he's lucky. I do guess he will be getting covered by the corner 3 on a lot of teams this year, which could open him up just because he has the speed needed to be a good deep threat in this league. His hands are very questionable, though.
You said 10 touchdowns. That would be very good for a fourth-round pick. I'm just saying. I like this pick from the Women Lovers. I think they made the right decision here. Michael FOSSEN, he has experience, and he had some solid games, actually, where he had like 8 catches. He had a little bit of a dropping issue, but I think that you got to go with potential here. George is taller, he's stronger, and I think probably quicker too. So just going for athleticism here and potential.
Yes, I think they made the right pick here. I'm excited to see how George does in his rookie season.
I think he's going to do better than Carter Larson, honestly. I think that Carter's going to be...
Is this your pick for Rookie of the Year?
I think so. I'm pretty unbiased. I don't really have a favorite team, but I kind of tend to lean toward the Women Lovers. I've been following them, a historic franchise. I think that George Larson is going to surprise a lot of people here. I think that he's going to take over his older brother as the premier Larson in the league.
I don't see that happening. He'll need to get 8 touchdowns.
Carter's going to be double. Carter's going to be double teamed. George's going to be facing wide receiver 3s.
You can't double team. Put the whole damn team on Carter, and he'll still get open.
Okay,
that boy's balling.
We've been through this before. All right.
Prime time.
Maybe
Carter
in the regular
Larson,
season,
no stopping him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. All right. Now we're going to move on to the 15th overall pick, and we have the Pro Crafters with the choice between Will McGarian and Michael FOSSEN. 2 fantastic picks. With the 15th overall pick in the 2022 Bgfl draft, the Paradise City Pro Crafters select Will McGarian, cornerback, University of Tatooine.
All right, and Will at 15th overall. Really did not see Michael FOSSEN dropping all the way to 16 and being Mr. Irrelevant of this year's draft. But I really think these guys will be able to get past that and be a very explosive offense this year.
When you see Will McGarian, you look at the 5'2" frame.
Plenty of face plants.
Yeah, you look at that and maybe you think he's a bum. And you see he's taking out the 15th pick and he gives up 12 catches a game. You think the brother can't play. But let me tell you, season 1 Will McGarian wasn't one of the best, most productive receivers in the league, and he's going to be the wide receiver. He's going to be the wide receiver 3 here on the field. He's going to be getting that baby coverage, and I think he's going to eat.
His catch radius isn't the best, but we know Johnny Nemeth can put a ball on a dime.
That's true. That man's got a string. He's got a cannon. He's 6'2", and he's hit puberty too. I've heard. What do you think about that? We'll talk about Johnny for a second here because this is the.
I'm going to see a BGFL record for passing touchdowns in a season this year.
What do you think? I think the record's like 33.
I'm thinking 40.
40? He's gonna go for 40. That would be absolutely unheard of in the BGFL, a 40 touchdown season. But he definitely could do it with them here. I mean, he's
we saw him break off a few big runs now.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Larson, and then you've got Sharpie. That's the hot moms
and white chocolate.
White chocolate to that team. Who is stopping that? And then you got Will. Probably won't get a lot of targets, but he will be fine. He's a 4th round pick. All right, but I feel bad for Foss here a little bit. We don't even have to really see the commissioner. We know he's going to be taken last, right? There's no free agents in the BGFL. With the 16th overall pick in the 2022 BGFL draft, the Wilmington Predators select Michael FOSSEN, wide receiver, St. Cloud Hospital Emergency Trauma Center. Hooah! He's reunited with his old team. I think people forget. About the fact that he can play.
Yeah, people forget this is a gritty, high motor play. He's going to leave his heart and soul on that field every time he goes out there. I think he could be a really good 3rd option at wide receiver for this Predators team.
Definitely. I mean, I don't think Predators teams or Pro Crafters fans, I don't think they should be upset about either of these final 2 picks. I think they're both fine players, similar build, and I honestly think similar play styles, kind of inconsistent wide receivers with some dropping problems, but they'll
go off for
their fair share of big games. And, not the best defenders. But
both of them can take the top off any defense, and that's what's really important for a wide receiver.
That's the beauty of the BGFL here. Unless you're the Season 2 Eagles, you always have a shot, okay? So,
that is true.
I mean, I think all these teams are pretty balanced. We can just go over the rosters right here. I got them in from the studio here. The Women Lovers have the Zocker brothers and PEKULA, the original women lover squad, and then Brandon and George. I think that's a very dangerous team right there.
I do. I think, depending on how George does, that could be one of the best wide receiver groups we've seen in a long time. But that Hot Moms squad reuniting, both Carter Larson.
We'll get to them. We'll get to them. Don't try to steal a thunder here. I mean, the only problem I see with the women lovers is they don't really have a big guy. Their tallest guy's like 5'11". Maybe George
plays big. He's a small guy, but he can play big.
You can't measure heart either. We have to keep that in mind here. The BGFL is all about heart and putting your soul and your entire life on the line for the glory of the gridiron. And then we have the pro crafters here. Johnny Nemeth and the two Carters. We got the Hot Moms back, but then you add Callahan McElkey. That alone, I don't care if we were doing
if you tell me what I think when I hear the word pro crafters, I think of Callahan McElkey.
The man is synonymous with the franchise, and just to see him reunited with the it brings tears to my eyes. See him reunited with the pro crafters for a third season, but we have to keep in mind, could the pro crafters? Their thing here is they win one game during the regular season. All right. Do you think they could possibly get 2 wins? Could they break? Could they defy the odds?
Well, the thing is, we got Carter Larson and Johnny Nemeth, who don't usually win who usually win a fair share of regular season games, and not many playoff games. And we got they're on the pro crafters who don't win regular season games.
I don't know what to think.
And win playoff games. Yeah,
this could be a nuclear explosion.
If we take the best of both worlds, this is a championship contender right here.
I agree. Yeah, we'll have to see. That's all we can say. Season 4 is starting soon, and this is extremely exciting, folks. The Predators here, Simon, he takes Michael Webster, Ben Hennon. That is going to be an extremely dangerous receiving duo right there. Ben's probably going to have to get double teamed because of his height. I think, and then you got Marcus Congdon and Michael FOSSEN as the other two. I think that a lot is going to be on Simon's shoulders here. I think Simon, he's had some extremely talented teams. Look at season 1 when he was quarterback. He had John ENGELKES and Carter Larson right there, who ended up being future captains. They were so good. And then season 3, he had Luke Zocker, Brendan DeLarosa, 2 MVPs, and then Dylan Cummings, a big body tight end. Possession receiver.
We can't. Simon's stats are going to depend on his receivers. We saw what happened with season 2, the Evansville Eagles. A disgrace to the BGFL, if you ask me.
But then we saw Lando pop in and they won a game. So I think Simon is the problem in a lot of these teams. We've seen a new Simon emerge though defensively with the Aaron Donald, an absolute threat, and also he's good on his legs. All right, but he's got to get the ball to these guys. Bottom line.
Well, we did see he was a sack leader in the last season, but we did see the implementation of the new rule where you cannot rush 2 plays in a row.
And it's actually known as the Simon rule. They're calling it the Horny Eagle blockade. That's what some analysts are calling it because it was made solely to nerf Simon because Simon is just too good on defense.
Yes, and I know there's a lot of players who did not like playing with one-man lines and flag football. And
that sounds like a diva sort of player. There's plenty of them in the BGFL. We have to appease them occasionally. That's just my opinion, though. What's your thought on the new rule?
No, I think it's a good new rule. Okay. I think it's gonna really allow more time in the pocket for the quarterback to throw, and when they do blitz, it'll catch them off guard more often.
I have to agree with that. Yeah, because you will still be allowed to blitz. So now we have the Snow Dragons, the final squad here: Jared, Logan, John, Josh, and Dylan. I'm looking at this team, and I think that they have a great deep ball quarterback in Lando, and they have John and Jared and Dylan. I don't think their receiving core is that great. John, Josh, Dylan, Jared. I think there's better receiving cores.
I do think that they're lacking speed. John's the only one with any speed there, so we're gonna have to see we're not gonna see the deep plays out of them. We see out of a lot of other teams. They're gonna be little dump offs, getting first downs, but. We'll see how John can function as a wide receiver 1, as he has not had this much pressure on him to produce as a wide receiver 1 because he's always had other good receivers around him.
That's true, and we saw John didn't do so great. He had, especially at the start of season 3, he had his troubles. So hopefully he can get that turned around because we know the 2-time Offensive Player of the Year can be an extremely valuable player. So yeah, I mean,
they just have to find a way to get him in the open field, and that'll be a very.
But listen, this Lando John connection, we saw it in season 2 with the most lopsided sub of all time, subbing Dylan Cummings for Logan or subbing Logan for Dylan. we saw that they are extremely, like Lando and John, they have a great connection. I think this is very good. And maybe that's what Jared was thinking. Maybe Jared, being the incredible BGFL scholar that he is, he looked back and he saw these 2 consecutive picks. He saw Lando and John on the board, and he saw that he could reunite these guys, and that would be their connection.
The problem here is I think some teams, like the Pro Crafters, have 2 guys who can be John's shadow and hold him in check the whole game. I think the Woman Lovers got one in Luke Zocker, and I think John's gonna he's gonna have a lot of struggles getting the ball this year.
That's true. So if you had to pick one team to win the championship here, as an unbiased source, what would you pick?
I gotta go with the Pro Crafters. I think this is the year Johnny and Carter really put it together, and they're gonna win a championship.
Well, that would be beautiful to see. The Humphrey curse broken in extreme fashion with a championship being won here. Me personally, I'm going to have to go with the Pro Crafters as well. I mean, I think that if Cal was not on the team, if it wasn't for White Chocolate and just his energy and the dynamic playmaking, I think that this would be another first-round exit for Carter Larson, Johnny Nemeth and company. But when you add Cal there...
When you add Cal, when you can draft a wide receiver 1 in the 3rd round, and Carter Larson can take on the wide receiver 2 role, and Carter Sharp at wide receiver 3, we've never seen anything like this.
We're going to have Cal triple covered, and then that's going to leave one guy wide open, and then Larson will probably be in single coverage, and that is just not going to be fun for teams. So I don't know how... I think this team is going to be very hard to stop. If I had to bet on someone else to take it, I'd have to go with the Women Lovers, just because they have a great, solid, all-around roster. They've got a couple stars, and they have championship experience.
They do have that, but they have their divas on that team too.
That's true.
Brandon and Pekula, 2 of the biggest divas in the league. I could see some real locker room issues there that team may not be able to overcome.
That's true. One of the biggest obstacles in the BGFL is definitely the locker room dynamic. So that's actually... We're all out of time here. It's been an absolute pleasure, Brad, to talk BGFL with you. This is going to be the biggest and best season yet. We had a fantastic draft. This coverage is brought to you by Manscaped. Thank you for sponsoring this segment. And
once again, to go over the new rules, we have 4 teams of 5 players, but only 4 players will play at a time for each team. And players can sub in and out throughout the game if all 5 players are able to attend. We are hoping with this new rule we'll be able to play many more games this year.
Yes, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Thank you for tuning in. The 2022 BGFL Draft. It's been an absolute pleasure. Cheng Waffle Buns and Brad Ocho Cuatro signing out.
Back to you, Brandon Godden.
Back to you, Brandon Godden.